what would you do if your girlfriend was a werewolf? And I was like, well, let me think about it. It was 3 a.m. We were sitting on the hood of my car in her driveway, and all we had for paper was like a Chinese takeout menu. And I was like, yeah, let me just scratch this out real quick. And that eventually became like Howl. And I was like, all right, this is the one that stuck.
I love that so much. So was it a full moon when you were writing?
Actually, yeah.
Oh my God. Amazing.
Actually, yes.
Yes.
Conveniently, all of my major milestones in like my writing career or just any kind of like major leap forward have been on either a full moon or a new moon. And I was like, what is this? Like,
wow. So are you a werewolf, or like you're not allowed to tell us?
I mean, a literary werewolf.
Sure. Yeah, we'll go with literary. I mean, okay. Yes. Yeah.
Your best side comes out on the full and new moon.
That's when I get most of my work done. I'm noticing it's like those 3 days. I was like, it's fine.
And how does Howl progress from the Chinese food menu on the full moon on the hood of your car to now? Because when people hear this episode, Howl is out. The podcast is there. You can check out the first few episodes. So how does it go from, what's the journey from A to B there?
Yeah, no, it's kind of crazy. Because it was started off to be like a trilogy of films, right? Because like everybody, when they start out, they want to make movies, right? And writing movies, I found out, is ridiculously hard. Like I got 90 pages in and I'm like, am I not done yet? Please. And so I tapped out. But then I found Carmilla online, and I was like, oh, these are only 5-minute episodes. I could do that.
Yeah.
Turns out I can't. 5-minute episodes, like kudos to those guys, because that's like hard too. I was like, I'm supposed to fit an entire story in 5 minutes. No.
You went from one extreme to the other.
That's my life.
Yeah.
But then it like, I was like, okay, but if I can't do 5 minutes, then how about 10 minutes? Or like, yeah, I can make it 10-15 minutes tops. And it was a web series for the longest time. Like I moved to Toronto to go to film school to produce this web series, because that's it. This was going to be my mark on the world. It was going to be the next Carmilla, just for useless lesbian werewolves. And
sold.
Yes,
we're in, honestly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just I couldn't find a production company to be like that. So, and I'm not Canadian yet. Working on it, but not yet. And so like I couldn't find the funds for it. So I was like, all right, well, and then quarantine happened, or like the pandemic happened, and I'm like, oh, cool. So no one's shooting anything anymore.
Yeah.
Got it. So like, what am I gonna do with all these stories? My writing partner, Shannon Farrell, who has been with me for 3 years now. Like I pitched this idea to them in a bar while they were on a date, I think. It was like my third or fourth weekend in Toronto, and I was like, okay, cool. Like I'm out and made some friends through like a fandom event, and was like, oh, hey, I recognize you. And like they heard us talking about Winona Earp or something, and it was like, yeah, Winona Earp, yeah, I'm an Earper too. And I was like, cool. So I'm working on this thing. They were
while they're in the middle of a date.
Yes, and they were drunk. So I was like, yeah.
So you're saying you're a great creator, terrible wing person. We've got it. We're keeping notes over here.
Absolutely. Like I'm very passionate about things, so my timing is always a little off. But it worked out. Like
the passion is there. You can't control when it comes out, you know?
Yeah, no, we got to talking about Winona Earp, and then it kind of spiraled into like, what if they did werewolves? And I'm like, I write werewolves. And they were like, oh, okay. Sure. That was it. I was like, I write werewolves. I'm like, I'll get in on that. Sure. Okay. And they've been with me as I've changed my mind about plot points and all this other stuff. for 3 years. So shout out to Shannon. I was like, hey, if we can't do anything, well, if we can't shoot a web series, why not turn it into a podcast? And they're like, okay.